Hi, good morning. Today is October 8th, 2025, and it is 9:18 a.m. U.S. Central Time. Let me double check here real quickly that the settings are correct. Okay, yes. My name is Reynaldo J. Aguiar Marcano, and I'm recording this from my house at the 26714 Valleyside Drive, Katy, Texas, 77494. I already recorded 2 segments before this morning, but there's one question that it's been burning in my mind for days, and I don't know the answer to this. It's a silly technical question, right? It's probably easy for somebody who knows about these things or has access, but I don't know the answer, right? And it's bugging me that I can't understand this. So I'm going to pose the question. My goal by doing this is, so if any of my informants see this, if you can, I want to propose that if you can send me an FSC message, near field communication as we've done before, when I go outside to one of these shops, please send me some technical documentation so I can understand why this happens, right? So the question is the following, right? And this was written in an entry in the journal. I think it was actually in Key Opinion Leaders, not even on spyhealth.org. So this was probably like 2 years ago, right? Or maybe a year ago. I think it was after. Yes, it was right after I captured the GeoIndex. So the observation was that the points were that were public knowledge, right? The points were the Chinese spy balloons that were shot down a few years back over the US, I think in Alaska. I can't remember exactly the exact location, but those points that were well known, right? Some of them, not all of them, like the full trajectory isn't known. I mean, to the public, right? But in some of the articles, some of the reporters gave hints of where the balloons were shot down, right? And those areas had a lot of points marked in the GeoIndex, right? And at the time, I remember that I draw the conclusion that they were using this parallel internet that they have to guide the balloons, right? And interestingly, there was somebody from, I think it was from the FBI, I can't recall exactly the agency, but from one federal agency that was quoted consistently in these news articles saying that they had discovered that the Chinese had hacked into the ISP providers to guide the balloons. At the time, I say, well, like that is obviously not what's happening, right? Because now I have the GeoIndex and I can see that the balloons were being guided with the GeoIndex. So, that person that made that comment about the ISP, and I'm not making any accusations, but, that doesn't help the real investigators because that's not what's happening, right? It seems like a narrative that is diverting the reality to another direction, right? Anyhow, this has happened years ago, right? It doesn't matter. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. That has no effect on me, right? But the question that is burning in my mind is, I see how the Chinese and, the Sebing and how they use the vehicles, right, to traveling at constant speed, and this is documented in the books, to isolate the signature of the downlink, and then, with the MAC address and using brute force techniques, they are able to decrypt the downlink, right? So the question that is burning in my mind is the following. If they have the capability, and they've had this capability for years, right, to decrypt any downlink, what is the need for the spy balloons to begin with, right? Because they could say that the balloons are taking photographs, right? They could achieve the same, getting the photographs by intercepting the downlinks near the base stations where the US official satellites or military satellites of the US government are sending their photographs to, right? Those satellites have to be sending data to the ground, to a base station, right? So they could do the same with the base stations, right? They could intercept the downlink and get the photographs directly from the US military satellites. Right? They don't. Why they need to create spy balloons that could be detected and shot down? So that it doesn't make sense to me. So I mean, I have to think about, right, why insist on the spy balloons when they could have intercepted the downlink, which is less detectable, yeah, and less risky, right, and cheaper and faster. I mean, you see how they're intercepting the downlink here, hundreds of times per day, right? They're trying, right, hundreds of times per day. So they could do the same at the base station, right? Or say, okay, you can say, well, but maybe the base station is in a military facility that implements some form of the immune geoentities pattern, right? The US flavor of this, right? They must have something equivalent to that, right? But I don't think that's the reason, because there's hundreds of satellites up there, and not all of them are military satellites. Like, there's scientific satellites that they could also intercept the downlink at a university easily, right, with Chinese students. So it's not. I don't think it's the type of satellite. So I don't know. I don't know why, and this is bugging me. I mean, when this is one of those instances where I don't see any explanation that could check all the check boxes, right? Why insist with the spy satellites when they could have intercepted the downlink at several possible places, right? And get a complete picture of the entire United States, almost real time. The other explanation, of course, is that it's not about photography, right? That it's about radio frequency interception, right? Oh, I see. It's not the downlink, it's the uplink, what they're chasing, right? With the spy balloons, right? That's it. It's the equivalent of the airplanes that are flying above my house, right? From the X09 airport, but more constant, right? The spy balloon is just statically there, right? Up high. Yeah, so what they're chasing is probably the uplink, right? Because that's the only way to intercept the uplink. But now that brings the question, why are they so interested in the uplink? Because if you think about it, right, the satellite, what it really is a probe, right? It's an instrument placed above to send data down. So the valuable data should be coming down, not up. What would they be chasing on the uplink? What is the purpose of that? I mean, could be instructions, right? Could be instructions. Could be that they're trying to get the instructions. I don't know. This is puzzling to me. And when these things happen, I can't let it go. I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas, please send me, if it's a document or something that we can pass over, the small messages, send me something short range when I'm outside. Please, because this is really bothering me. I can't understand this. Why is that they're chasing with these balloons, right? When they have the technology to intercept the downlink, obviously, and decrypt it. Well, I'll leave this as an open question. If anybody has any ideas, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.